This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we're the ones who've encouraged you all along to like and share them on your favorite social media and with all your friends and neighbors because CareBag presents at this time Careology with the one and only Roxy Brown.
Good morning, Cliff, and good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. I don't know about anybody else, but this has been a great weekend. Nice July 4th and just rolled into it. We didn't get a lot of rain. The heat index is off the chart, but it was a beautiful weekend. I hope everyone had a beautiful and safe weekend also.
In spite of the heat, I'll tell you, I didn't have that bad of a time because I did some things that are good cardiovascular kind of workout type of things, but it was hot, so I had to hydrate and I had to kind of stay out of the sun itself.
Oh yeah.
Too.
Oh, I stayed out of the sun.
But I was fine.
I have a good time when I'm inside, believe it or not. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Roxy, and welcome to Careology. I am your host here, and Careology is a subsidiary of CareBag Incorporated, a local nonprofit here on the Treasure Coast. And our mission at CareBag is one that is very, very simple. We provide access to proper hygiene. And you're like, how do you do that? We do that through our 3 mobile showers and through our mobile hygiene pantry. And we have them stationed with different partners and collaborators here throughout the Treasure Coast and Palm Beaches. And we give our unhoused, our homeless individuals showers and different wraparound services. And our mobile hygiene pantry goes to different soup kitchens, different food banks that families and individuals that are in crisis, that can't afford. Things are so expensive. Let's just jump back. Things are so expensive. So when someone has to choose between diapers and getting to work for gas, they have to make different cuts. And we're here to just give a little helping hand that they can get the little things that they need. And that is what we do. We don't do food, we don't do rental assistance, but what we do is we give them access to proper hygiene. And the United Nations says it best. They have a quote, and I have kidnapped that from the United Nations. I'll give credit where credit is due, that access to proper hygiene should be a right, not a privilege, not just for those who can afford it, but for everyone. Because the pandemic, those of you who believe that we did have a pandemic, I do, the pandemic, the flu, influenza, all of that is real. And a lot of it comes from having no access to keeping your hands clean, to just a simple cold, just to wash your hands and do what you have to do. Those things are very, very important. And when we give someone the access to proper hygiene, it is much better for them. It is good for them. It's good for their self-esteem, good for their dignity. And above everything else, it's good for the surrounding community. Because all of us go to Publix, all of us go to Walmart, all of us go to all of these local establishments and different businesses, and many of us just grab the cart. Some of us don't clean it, and everybody's grabbing it. But imagine when you don't have soap and water, you're coughing, you're sick, you're spreading that through the community. And CareBag is that Band-Aid. We have that Band-Aid where we cover, we wash you, we give you that you strip it off, it's clean, and that's what we are. So we keep putting a Band-Aid on everything, but we strip that off and we give people that need showers. We give people that need feminine products. The babies need diapers, soap, toothpaste. That is what we do. And you can find more about us by going to givecarebag.com. Give CareBag, CareBag, singular, givecarebag.com, and that will take you directly to our official website. And there you can find out a little bit more about us. And while you're there, you're going to see our upcoming event, which we're very proud of. This is our 4th annual Back to School Cuts. And this is going to happen at Mid-Florida Event Center Sunday, August 11th. And we are so, so proud to have so many individuals sponsor this event. And I just want to give them a big shout out right now. We are thankful for Manchester Insurance. We are very grateful for St. Lucie Draft House, Children's Services, Council of St. Lucie, Two Men in a Truck, Grozer Builders, which is our main sponsor. Thank you to the family of Grows Builders, Inc. We have Lexus of the Treasure Coast. We have Marianne Kitchum, who does our photography for us. Southern Eagle, Hearts Unfold, Design a Sign, and of course, now we have our Channel 25 WPBF News are going to be covering us, and yours truly will be live at 9:45 this Thursday to talk about our back to school event. So if you're able to tune in, we would love for you to tune in and hear all about it and design a sign. And this is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, August 11th, and we give free haircuts to kids ages 4 to 17 in school, and we have 350 book bags that are going to be pre-packed so that kids that do not have or are in need can go ahead and get. And we're happy to do this because we take this to our clients. The Port St. Lucie City has come on board, and we thank them very much. And we had just a very, very good, very good. Last year, it was amazing. Last year, we had some barbers, local barbers come out, and it was just amazing. We want to give a big shout out to Connect Cuts right here in the Treasure Coast, and they are in Stewart, and we just want to say thank you. This whole barbershop comes out with other local barbers. We have barbers from Broward, we have barbers from West Palm, we have barbers from Orlando that come all the way down to give our kids some love. And they do this all day. They do this from 12 to 6. They take different shifts. We feed them. We have food. We have a good time. But at the end of the day, every kid that walks into school that week of August the 11th is going to look like every other kid. Haircuts are expensive. We talked about that last week. Haircuts are very, very expensive, and we want every kid to have that upper hand. Bullying is such a big thing in this country. Bullying leads to so many kids committing suicide, feeling ostracized by so many. And if we can go ahead and do the simplest little things by just giving a little bit of love, it will be such amazing. And giving love is just making a child feel, wow, somebody cares about me, cares enough that they can go ahead and I can have a beautiful haircut. And we want everyone to feel that, because you know what? It's important. And you don't know how important it is if you haven't been through that. So that's what we want to let a lot of people know. A lot of people don't understand how important it is. So the fact that we're able to do that, we're able to assist with that, is amazing. And if we have a lot of our sponsors come in and just sit for an hour, or say, Roxy, I'm just going to come by for a couple minutes, and they're there the whole day. Cliff, they're there the whole day because they get to see these kids interact, and they get to see how much love and joy is on their face that they can get a haircut. A lot of them don't go anywhere for the summer, and this is a way for them to have that one little hurrah before school begins. And just imagine you need your haircut and you have to go without a haircut for the whole entire summer because mama and daddy just can't afford it. Or they're putting a bowl on your head and cutting your hair. Some of us can't do that, So just imagine you're able to look so well. Our barbers and stylists are licensed, so they're giving great cuts to boys and girls.
When I was a child, we weren't homeless, but we got what we'd call buzz cuts, which were actually a crew cut.
Ooh.
That way, your hair only needs to be cut maybe once or twice a year.
So they went way down.
They did, yeah.
They went way down to the scalp.
Yeah, they went down as far as they could, and that's what we got by with. Then the short hair was not popular anymore by high school.
Oh, okay.
And everybody had long hair or big hair.
And that was it.
And that was the thing, having hair. Now today,
it's different. Everybody has their own little style. Yeah, everybody has their own little style. But just think about this. You close your eyes and just think. If you're driving, don't close your eyes. Just think about this. You're going to school, and everybody's looking sharp the first week of school. And here you are coming into school, a book bag that you had from last year, or holes in it, or dirty. You don't have the right supplies. The teacher asks you for something, you don't have it. You walk in and everybody has a sharp haircut, looking right for the new year, for the new school year, and your hair looks like nobody cared.
I remember the peer pressure that some kids had in schools.
It is.
When I first came to Florida, I didn't know that Eagle Army Navy was a department store where you could buy clothing. But kids were teasing other kids. You're wearing our Eagle Army Navy clothes. You're wearing Eagle Army Navy stuff, and that was supposed to. I guess that's how the bullies would shame everybody.
Shame
You know.
everybody because you couldn't go to a department store and get your clothes or go to a name brand store. Bullying is something that's very, very serious in our culture, and it leads to a lot. I don't think people understand teen suicide. Teen suicide is something that is real. This is not the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. This is real. So we're gonna just we touched on it. So we're gonna just put that number out again. 988. Teen suicide is 20% up than it has ever been before. And that is by the American Psychological Association. More than 20% of teens have seriously considered suicide. And that comes at different degrees. We know social media has a lot to do with it. People don't understand persona. You know, persona, when you look on something, a child doesn't look at it, a teen doesn't look at that as an adult would look at it. And filters and AI have distorted the pictures of so many people to make them look great. I remember it was a couple years ago, they had an article and it stays in my head forever. I can't get it out of my head. There was a young girl, beautiful, went ahead and did a beautiful post on one of the social media sites, and within 2 to 3 hours, she committed suicide. She was so happy, but it was a facade. It was a facade. She was under the age of 21, and that stuck with me. You know, that was a couple years ago, but that stuck with me to know the pressure. And she wasn't ugly. She was a good-looking young girl, but that pressure that she must have been under to have that facade, that you make a post like that, and then within a couple hours you're that unhappy. You were unhappy when you were making the post. You were making that facade. And when young teens and when children have to build up that facade to look a certain way, to feel a certain way, that's pressure. You don't even have the normal pressures of life of paying bills.
There are comedians who put on that facade.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Robin Williams, for
Yeah,
example.
he did that for years. He did that for years. But just imagine, let's talk. Robin Williams was a successful actor, a successful comedian, and had money, could buy anything they want. But mentally, people don't understand your mental capacity does not concentrate on how much money you have, does not concentrate, doesn't care about your money, doesn't care about your fame, doesn't care about what you can afford. Your mental capacity has to do with what you're feeling inside. You see what I'm saying? And those that are in a certain echelon in life that can have everything and are doing this, look at, for instance, Kate Spade. She's one of the top designers. Even though she is gone, her brand is still selling. She committed suicide. So it's not the money you have, it's not the fame you have, it's what's eating you inside. And these are people that were successful. So let's just take it back years now. The social pressure that these young teens are having, it's so dramatic. It's so much pressure on them just from little things. You know, we have a little 5-year-old at home, and she goes to school. And I remember this weekend she has a little party she's going to, and the theme is Peppa Pig, and she feels that she must have a Peppa Pig outfit on. She's 5. What happened to just going to a party? You see what I'm saying? She saw the invitation, she saw Peppa Pig on it, and she thinks that she needs to have, Gigi, I need to have a Peppa Pig outfit. She doesn't have a Peppa Pig outfit. But just everyone's talking about it, everyone's mentioning it. And in her little head at 5 years old, that pressure she feels that she has to have it. So just imagine these kids in their preteens, in their teens, that are getting ready to go to school. And let's just talk about the simple thing as a haircut. That makes such a difference. And hey, Becky, we want to just say our social media, we have Becky Fisher on in Kentucky. Hi, Becky, sweetie, one of our volunteers. You know, just think of that pressure that these kids have, that they need to go ahead and feel that they got to have a haircut. You know, that they can't get a haircut. But CareBag August 11th is going to be able to provide them. Not only that, they're able to get book bags. They're able to go ahead and have those book bags filled with what they need. This weekend, we have Impact 100 St. Lucie County coming for a volunteer day, and they're going to be helping us start sorting out what we have, because this is serious. When we go to schools and we see this, this is very, very serious. I'm going to go ahead and just drop some information to you that you should know. 12 million American individuals seriously considered suicide in 2019. 3.5 million plotted a suicide attempt, and 1.4 million attempted suicides. That number is a number of a nation. That is a number of a nation. We just had, the historic Beryl hurricane come through Jamaica of 2 point something million people. Now, we have 2 point something million people on the island of Jamaica, 2.2 million. We had 12 million Americans, individuals, seriously consider. 3.5 plotted to attempt to go ahead and commit. Do you know how many islands that is right now? How many islands, how many nations that makes up? So many people are hurting. So many people are hurting. And we just want to know, what can we do as a nation that we can help? So we might not be able to do everything for everybody, but what we can do is we can start small. You can start in your community. And one of the ways to start in your community is by doing something so small and so little, you don't think it has an impact, but just imagine you as a kid. If anyone is older, in their 30s, 40s, 50s and up, imagine you going to school and you can't get a haircut. Your hair can't be done. You see all the other kids with a haircut, nice book bags. The teacher says, I need this, and they just grab their bag and they're just pulling out everything that they need. Every child going to any school in America should be able to pull out something from a nice book bag for the start of school. That is unacceptable, that our children have to worry about little things like that. And the pressure is on. Kids are mean. I'm going to tell you, a lot of kids are honest, but a lot of kids are mean. And our kids shouldn't have to go through that. So that's what we're doing August 11th. If you know that you can buy one book, you don't have to buy me 10, 12 books. If you know you can get me one book, one pack of paper, a pencil, you can do anything. You can come and volunteer. We want you. We want you. We're looking for anything that we can go ahead, especially composition books, note paper, pens and pencils, and highlighters. Those are the things that we are needing. We don't need book bags. We got a lot of book bags. But those are the things we are needing right now that we want to go ahead and we want to make sure we can pack in these these backpacks for our kids. That is vitally, vitally important. Suicide is when a person causes their own death on purpose, for those that we need to help. But young adults, ages 10 to 24, are the most at risk. And we're going to be dealing with children ages 4 to 17, okay? Boys are more likely to commit suicide than girls. Girls are more likely to attempt suicide than boys. Guns are used in more than half of all youth suicides. So youth suicide is very, very serious. And bullying and feeling unwanted, feeling not part of the crew, feeling that you can't keep up with the Joneses, which you shouldn't have to worry about keeping up with anything. And a whole lot of other mental issues go into that. But if we can prevent one, you don't have to prevent and save the whole world, but just imagine if you can prevent one, how great that would be. And that is what we want to do. Our back to school is not to prevent suicide. Our back to school is not to stop bullying. Our back to school event is to make children know that you are worthy. We care about you. We want to give you the best of the best. And if we make one small attempt to do this at our 4th annual back to school haircuts on August 11th, then that's to me, that's a big deal. If you help one kid feel good about themselves, that's amazing. And we don't want to cure the whole world. We just want to get to one. And that's what we're going to do. And In order to do this, we have some great sponsors on board. And we mentioned our sponsors, and we just want to take time again to say thank you, thank you, thank you, because it's so important. We have Kaiser University, the nursing group that goes ahead and gets a lot of books and get a lot of supplies and a lot of volunteer hours with them. We want to say thank you. We got a lot of local and private individuals, the Porch Factory, like we said, Grozer Builders, Lexus, Design a Sign, Hearts Unfold. We have Children's Services Council, St. Lucie, the Draft House, so many others that we just want to say thank you. And we couldn't do it without them. So what we're going to do is just take a little break right now, and we're going to listen to, because this show depends on our sponsors. So again, we want to say Treasure Coast Lexus, thank you for coming on aboard again for Careology. You make this possible for what we're able to do. And we will be back after these messages.
Wondering what your valuables are worth? Bring them to St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin, and their friendly staff will tell you, and they'll pay you top dollar. Hi, it's Evan 9 from the morning show, and I can personally tell you from experience that St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin is the place to go for all your jewelry needs.
Hi, this is Hawk Levy from St. Lucie Jewelry and Coins. I want to tell you all thank you for voting us #1 again. Best jewelry and coin dealer, best gold and silver buyer, and best jewelry store.
You know, the demand has never been more for fine jewelry, signed jewelry pieces, coins, coin collections, paper money, Rolex, and all luxury watches, even designer purses. You ask why you should sell to St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin? It's real simple. They buy your jewelry as jewelry and not scrap. They resell everything on the international auction platform and in their local store. St. Lucie Jewelry does free confidential appraisals and house calls as well. St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin, located at US 1 and Walton Road in the Publix Plaza.
Why call two men in a truck of the Treasure Coast? You want to move your business without moving a single meeting? You want it handled with no fuss. Lots of stuff, no time to move it? You need the pros that care. That's why you call two men in a truck of the Treasure Coast. Family owned and operated franchise. Call 772-236-0827. 772-236-0827. Movers who care. Visit Two Men in a Truck, treasurecoast.com. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
We now return to Careology, the science of caring. Once again, here's your host, Roxy Brown.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here on Careology, our Monday at 10:05 a.m. every Monday. And we talk about what's important in the community, what's happening, what we're doing, what people want to know. We interview local individuals that are making a big impact. And it doesn't have to be with CareBag. It can be with other organizations. So many other organizations are out there doing great, great work. And we want to just thank them for that. But what we're talking about is our back to school event and why we do our back to school event. But we just want to go ahead and, Beryl, we're going to just switch gears a little bit. Beryl was the first major hurricane in a long time. It made its name for the books. The earliest hurricane that I've ever seen in July. I've never seen it. They said it's never happened. And it's causing a lot of devastation. It's hitting Texas right now, but it's a Category 1. But we want to talk about what's been happening in the Caribbean. It was almost a Hurricane 5, Category 5, that went through Jamaica and went through other islands, and many has lost their lives. And we want to pray for those individuals that are out there, because a small island already struggling with a lot of water. This is how I explain it to people. You put sand in a jar, and you pack that jar up with sand, and you start pouring water on that. The sand is only going to hold X amount of water. eventually it's going to overflow. And when it overflows, it's not the water that comes up, it's the whole sand and everything that comes up, and it's an overflow. And that's what an island is a crustacean of just sand that has come into hard rock. For those that for geology there. So, and these are the islands. So imagine when you have water compounding over and over and over again, it just makes for flooding. And a lot of people think the worst natural disaster you can have is water. Because it's not, my husband's always says something, that's something you can't grab onto. You can't grab onto water, you can't hold water, and just that over flooding over and over again, it just makes for, and these torrential rains that keep coming make it just say, oh my goodness, when is this going to end? So our hearts and our prayers are out there to all the islands and to everyone that is in Texas, because even though this is a category 1, we have to remember that Texas has been having a lot of rain. They've been bombarded with a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. So this only just puts more water in the jar with the sand. And sometimes it's just too much. So our hearts and prayers go out there. We had the news has been talking about our local Red Cross has gone out there to go ahead and help those individuals. So we thank our local Red Cross that's here for going out, and any other of the nonprofits that are able to go out and assist with them. So we just say, Godspeed, and be careful, because it's not easy to go and help and then you get caught up in the same tragedy and you need help also. So we're asking everyone to please go ahead and just be careful. So again, thank you for coming back. And what we've been talking about is our back to school event here at CareBag, and it takes place Sunday, August the 11th. And why we're so happy to do that is because we know the children and we know the families that we were helping. We helped close to almost 400 families last year. And I remember the last young man that left, it was close to 7 o'clock, and he was getting his hair cut. And we had a young barber that came in and did his hair. He looked in the mirror and he said, oh my goodness, this was worth the wait. And we found out that he is a product of PALS in Fort Pierce. Their boxing that he does. He's one of the boxers, but he wanted this haircut so bad. And he looked at us and told us, his mom said, I couldn't afford to give this to him. But because of CareBag, he was able to get just what he wanted for school. And the look on this young man's face is something from last year I can't forget. And I hope I see him again this year. Our information goes out to all the families and everyone that we go ahead and we assist. So this information goes out to them for them to come back and so their child can get that haircut that they need. Because haircuts are expensive, Cliff, how much you get charged for your haircut?
Well, I've been doing it myself for a long time. I'm just now starting to let it grow again, just to see what happens.
Well, when you did get your haircut, how much you used to pay?
Oh, well, now way back, it was like $10 or $12, but then it got up to like $20 and $30.
Okay.
Now, when I had real long hair, I'd go to a salon and have special things done to it. But during those days, it grew very fast. I could have a ponytail from bald to a ponytail in a year. But now the top's thinning out and the back's thinning out.
Oh boy.
I've got these little sunburn on the top of the back of my head sometimes.
Well, the thing about this is you said it, $20, $30 on a haircut. That
Yeah.
is very expensive. And just imagine having 2, 3, or 4 kids. And haircuts aren't really $20. They're almost $25 to $30, but let's put them at $25.
Yeah.
You got 4 kids, that's
Yeah,
$100.
easy.
You got 3 kids, that's $75. You're already struggling. You already need groceries. You already need gas. I'm going to let you know it's not happening. Or what are some parents doing? They're giving the oldest a haircut because they know peer pressure starts from when you're older. So they give the oldest a haircut. And if they can manage the next, then that's what happens. That shouldn't be for children.
And the large families, remember the hand-me-downs?
The hand-me-downs. So, this is what happens. And if there's any way that we can help and there's anything we can do, this is how we want to do it. So I am excited. Out of all the events that I do, we don't do a lot, but the ones that we do, to me, are just fantastic. And this is the one that's fantastic. And by the way, I almost forgot, I will not have Cheryl Gantz, Lima, Crucify Me. Keller Williams, Port St. Lucie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They have come aboard as one of our sponsors for our back to school, and we thank them because we can't do this without the community. So every kid, every parent, so this is what happened. A parent comes and brings a friend, brings all the kids. Everyone gets fed. We do hot dogs, we do chips. Thank you, Southern Eagle. We do bottles of water because it's going to be hot. We usually have a nice bounce house, but because the heat index has been so hot, I have decided for legal and insurance reasons, unfortunately, we're not gonna have a bounce house this year. The heat index between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. is too hot. And we want to keep these children safe. We don't want an ambulance out there. We don't want a fire truck out there, only for show, not because you need to come to rescue one of our children. So we've decided not to have a bounce house this year just because of the heat. August is one of the hottest months. July, August is one of the hottest months in the state of Florida. So we won't be having that, but we'll have giveaways, we'll have games, but everyone eats. And we do beef hot dogs, we have chips, we have water. So every mom that comes and has a friend and has the grandparents and have the kid, everyone gets something. But when I say we serve close to 400 kids, those were just kids that got haircuts. Those were not the people that were in the building. So this is a very, very big event. We don't have vendors selling anything to the parents. This is strictly for the family. So when these businesses come on board, they're not coming on board to drop a table into Mid-Florida Event Center to sell their business. They're doing this strictly from the heart for the kids. And that is why these sponsors to me are so important. Not one asks, Roxy, can I have a table? Can I put this in a bag? They don't ask that. They want to know, what do these kids need? What are you missing? What are you short on? And I just say, well, this is our list. Here we go. And we're grateful for that. We're grateful for every single sponsor that comes on. And if you want to take part and you want to be part of this, reach out to us. Reach out to us, because what we're talking about is what makes children do certain things. I am not a professional. I am going to say that, make that disclaimer. Cliff always makes the disclaimer when he starts, so I'm going to make my disclaimer. I'm not a professional, and I am not a psychologist. I'm not a child psychologist. But what I do know is I deal with enough children to know that children, we had the youngest suicide. I'm going to look it up. The youngest suicide, I think, in our nation was age 7. And to me, that was unacceptable. It's just, it's sad. It's sad that children are going through just so many things that they don't know what to do. And we want to go ahead and see how we can stop this. So the youngest suicide was age 8, Gabriel Tate. And anything that we can do as a community to help a child and to help a family not go through this is a blessing. And it hurts my heart to know that young children are feeling this. So that is why everyone asks, oh my God, Roxy, you get so passionate. You just love your back to school event. Yes, because we get to help the most vulnerable children that are going through something. Every child is going through something. And it's starting, you're seeing it now from when they're younger. A lot of parents are using social media as a babysitter, and they're not understanding the influences that these children are seeing on social media. I'm not saying nothing. I use social media. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with social media. Get off social media. We're not saying that. What we're saying is you need to be vigilant with what you do. You need to be vigilant with how you have your children, because so many children are suffering. And so many parents are just saying, okay, they love being on that. Let them do that so I can do what I have to do. I don't have to be bothered. I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to do this. But sometimes we put too much, we put too much under children, and we need to be careful of that. So what I am saying to everyone is just let's be careful. Let's support, and let's do whatever we can do and to help our children. To me, that is the most important thing. Another event that we have coming up that I'm going to talk about, so today is talking about what CareBag is doing in the community for those that didn't know. October the 26th, we have been blessed to have Jeepers Creepers at the Met Stadium October the 26th. And this is going to be a fabulous event. You guys are going to hear a lot more about this next week because I'm going to have someone that is actually helping me with this come aboard with this. Jeepers Creepers is around nationwide, and we have been gifted this through the Met Stadium through a local business here, All Roads Trucking, and we are going to be showcasing this event, and it's going to be spectacular. It's an event where it's open to the public, it is free to the public. We're going to have some of the best antique cars there. We're going to have Jeeps and Broncos. If you have a Jeep and a Bronco that you want to light up and get it looking good for the Halloween area, because it's Jeepers Creepers, it's from 6 to 9. We're going to be going ahead and giving that information out next week. You'll be able to see it on our social media site within the next 24 hours. But I'm just going to, for just a few people that are listening right now, it just stays between us, Cliff, right? It just stays between us and the 96 other countries.
I was going to say, if you want to get the word out, just tell everybody, just don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody.
Keep it a secret.
This is going to be really good. CareBag is going to be showcasing every one of our units out there. And we want to make this fun for the kids. We have Children's Services Council has gone ahead and they are donating to us. We're going to be putting up a glow tent for the kids. That's going to be really good. So if you have if you have a Bronco, if you have a Jeep and you say, you know what, I want to put it in this car show, give us a call, go on our social media site. Everything's going to be up there so you can register. And another event that I would like to go ahead and talk about, we have Hearts Unfold is one of our biggest contributors to CareBag. And she does a fabulous event. And we are a part of Hearts Unfold with what she does. And she's going to be doing our Glow Kit 10. She does a lot of things for us. But what she has coming up, she has a beautiful event that is coming up. And we want to go ahead and let everyone know, because I'm a part of that event that's coming up. And it is her Heart to Heart, a survival story breast cancer awareness fundraiser. And if anyone is interested in that, please go to Hearts, HEARTZ, unfoldevents.com. And you know what? I'm going to ask her for a link that we can go ahead and put on our website, because CareBag is going to be a part of this event. And it is just a survivor story. I am not a survivor of breast cancer, but I have family. I have friends that are survivors. I have family that I have lost to this. And anyhow, we can go ahead and make an awareness for any woman, and I'm going to add this, and men in our lives. Men breast cancer is on the rise. And a lot of people don't know that. So this is a way we can hear survival stories and awareness. And if you know, I'd like all of you to really go to our website and see, because if you have someone you've lost, you can go ahead and pay a tribute to them at the Heart to Heart, a survival story breast cancer awareness fundraiser. And it's going to be a beautiful event. It is going to be at the Cape Club. We had our event there last January, and it's an absolutely event. And we want to let people know it doesn't matter of your age, your gender, your background, it doesn't matter. Cancer strikes everyone. And having a story that you can go ahead and tell would be just a beautiful thing. So if you'd like to be a sponsor or a pink warrior or a friend, or just go ahead and make a tribute, please go ahead and go to Hearts Unfold events, and you can go to her website, and all her sponsorship opportunities are there. And it's going to be a beautiful event, and I'm looking forward to it. And it's, it's an empowerment, join Heart to Heart to go ahead and fight against breast cancer. That is something that we all can do. And the date on that, that would be a good thing for me to give the date on that, wouldn't it? The date on that is November the 4th. So, we want to go ahead and we want to pull it out there and let people see it and know it.
Hearts Unfold, that one?
Yeah, it's heartsunfoldevents.com.
And the date was
November the 4th.
November 4th.
That's
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So that's going to be a beautiful event, and we want everyone out there, and it's just going to be great. So, we want to do what we can do right now to go ahead and just do the best that we can for everyone. And it's not always about CareBag; it's about supporting everything that we do. So we want to go ahead and push that out there, let everyone know what's going on, and just let them know it's coming and it's going to be beautiful. So if anyone would like to be a part of this and just see what's going on, please do come out and enjoy this, and just know that it's worth the cause. So we have more information that's going to be coming out, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to give you some more information about that after we hear from a little bit more of our sponsors and what we have going on. We have time for another one, Cliff, for going out.
Well, in about 10 minutes when we actually go out, we got one that we can, because we always go out early. So you're going to stuff 3 breaks into the second half?
I don't know. It's like we don't even know.
Yeah, I was setting up for the end, for the final minute of the hour.
This is when you catch Cliff off guard, and I love it, because if you guys can see his face right now looking at me, he's giving me that look like, Roxy, what are you doing?
That's like somebody saying, let's end the show early. Oh, goody, yeah, let's do that. No, we don't want to do that.
We don't want to. No, we're not doing that. But I just want to let everyone know it's so much going on with CareBag right now, and we just want to know our shower units are going through amazing changes here on the Treasure Coast and in the Palm Beach. I have a lot of people saying, Roxy, when are you going to add more shower units to your Fort Pierce when we have more volunteers? We could only do our shower units and have them when we have more volunteers. So if you have a little bit of extra time and you say, you know what, I can spare one day during the week, let us know, because we already do Saturdays, so we want to do one more.
How many shower units do you have now?
We have 3.
You've got 3 of them.
We have
now.
3 shower units.
So you can be in 3 locations at the same time, right?
We can do 3 locations. We have one that we take sporadically to different locations. Then we have another one that we have on Avenue A right here in Fort Pierce at the Methodist Church. And then we go ahead and we have one in Vero at the Salvation Army, run by the First Methodist Church of Vero. So that is what we're doing in the community. We're giving our showers. We're letting we don't like to use the word homeless anymore. They like to use the word unhoused. Unhoused, homeless, same thing.
Yeah, because there are more quote unquote homeless now than there were before. And it's not a very good word. How are you doing? Oh, I'm homeless.
Nobody says unhoused. They're like, I'm homeless.
Unhoused, yeah, unhoused is, you always find a better way to describe it so it doesn't sound so bad, because it's bad enough.
Well, you know what? Homelessness is homelessness. I think the reason they changed it to unhoused because they feel better when they say unhoused. It's not the homeless. The homeless are homeless. They'll tell you, I am homeless. I don't have a home.
That's true.
Unhoused is your car is not housed in your garage.
And that's folks describing the homeless.
That's right.
Not
They're
the homeless
unhoused.
themselves. Okay.
So I think saying the word unhoused makes the individuals like us that are talking about it feel a little better. And we shouldn't feel a little better because we've changed the word to unhoused. What we need to do is just realize they're homeless. They do not have a home. They're homeless. They are less of a place to live. Homeless. Unhoused means that you've just been displaced. Same thing, but you're still homeless. So I think coming up with the word unhoused, they said, oh, it's more politically correct. No, it's not. That's a bunch of everything else. Prokaki. I don't know what other word you want to use, Cliff.
I didn't find that one in the dictionary. So
That was not in the dictionary. So unhoused make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Saying the word unhoused make people feel comfortable. So they are homeless. And our shower units, we put out there that we can go ahead and let people, and just like we say, to make people feel more comfortable. So we need to really go ahead and look at that. but our shower units are out there, our mobile hygiene pantry is out there, and if people say, well, Roxy, why aren't you doing more? It's because we need more volunteers. When we have more volunteers that are committed, so let me say this, volunteers have to be committed. We love our volunteers, but we can't do the work if you decide you want to show up one day and don't show up the other day. So that's why we ask individuals, can you please let us know if you're committed? That's important. So, we want to do more. And we know that this new law, HB law, is coming in October, and it's going to cause a lot of problems. And I know last week I said I was going to have more information on it, but I'm still gathering information on it. And, the question is, what are they going to do? Or what are we going to do as a community to our individuals who are homeless, living in the woods, living in campsites, living in tents, and they have no shelter to go to, because they are out there. So, we need to go ahead and we need to do more. So if someone can go ahead and say, you know what, I have a great idea. We're willing to take the great idea and we're willing to do more with it. So some people are like, well, what is the new HB? Our esteemed governor has put a new law into effect. And what it does, it allows anyone to go ahead and remove the Florida homeless are to be banned from sleeping in the public. That is the new law that they have. So homeless people will be banned from sleeping on sidewalks and sleeping on campsites and sleeping anywhere in the state of Florida. And other states have also taken it up also. And this bill, New York, states like New York and California have also, done this, and the legislation that they've put in is going to be a big barrier. It's called HB 1365. I had to look it up because I always like to give new law. It's a homeless law in Florida. It's called HB 1365, and it's called the Unauthorized Public Camping and Public Sleeping. So I'm just going to let all you guys know, when the homeless sleep, they're not camping. They are sleeping. That is where they live. They have nowhere else to go. When you camp, you go there temporarily to go back home. That is camping. Can anyone disagree with me? Oh, that's right. Everybody's agreeing with me. Thank you. So just to let our esteemed governor know, camping is when you camp for a certain period of time and you go back home. Am I right, Cliff?
Well, if you go to the Savannas, for example, I think you can stay something like 2 weeks, and then you have to go home for 24-hour period or something like that. You can't stay more than a certain amount of time.
So that's camping. So unauthorized public camping and public sleeping. When the homeless go somewhere, it's because they have nowhere else to go. So we're just going to cover that about that bill. So the Florida cities and counties from allowing people to sleep in public places, it also allows local government to create homeless camps if shelters reach capacity. So I'm reading this and I'm like, really? So you're going to make a public place? I don't think anyone's going to be able to really make a public place to go ahead, because when you make a public place, what happens now is, if anything happens when you make a public place, now the city is now liable. So that's not going to happen. So I'm going to have to really get somebody to come on here next week with me, because I touched on this 2 minutes before we got to go, but I want everyone to look it up. HB 1365, 1365. And that goes into effect. I believe it is in October or November that goes into effect, and that has been signed into law by our governor. And, he wants to stop it from being, does Florida have a homeless problem? Yes, we do. Florida has a homeless problem from the south of Miami all the way coming up. So that let's look into that and let's see what it is. But if anyone, we're going to touch on what we do. If anyone wants to go ahead and help with our back to school August 11th, we would love to have you because it is for the kids. So let me just state this is not a fundraiser. This is for the kids. Any extra that we have. So last year, I think we gave away around 6 or 8 bikes, Cliff, to kids going to school. They had a great time. That's what we used any extra funds that we had for
That's
kids.
cool, yeah.
We want to go ahead and buy a couple more sneakers. So for any families that come, because some will need, you'll be surprised. Some will need and some will ask. It's nice when we have it there if you need it. So that's what we want to do. And it's just a great, great time for us to do what we have. And your support is so crucial and so important for us to keep doing this.
And kids have these little anxieties too. Like when it's back to school, they have dreams of going to school and looking down, and your shoes are on the wrong feet,
Yeah,
or your shirt's on backwards.
That's it.
Those
And we
are
don't
little
want that.
anxieties
That is
occur.
true. And we don't want that. So if anyone, anytime could go ahead and help, go ahead and let us know, because guess what? That is important, and we want to do whatever we can do. So what we're asking is to anyone who is there and wants to go ahead and help, look on our website, givecarebag.com, and find our information. But this is Roxy, your Careologist on Careology on WPSL 1590, and it was great to have you. And if you'd like to be a part of this, just check us out. Have a great week, and happy Monday to you, and stay safe.
Just focus your camera on the QR code that you see when you look at the archives on YouTube of Careology, the science of caring, presented by CareBag, Mondays after Swap Shop on WPSL Port St. Lucie. We're talking to the Treasure Coast webcaster, too.